Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Kemet Masai Academy. This evening, we're doing another round of past paper questions. We're focusing this evening on the PEP Language Arts Performance Task. We have dedicated this month to the performance task, so we have been doing a lot of grade 4 performance tasks in math and English, grade 5 performance tasks in all 4 core areas: mathematics, science, social studies, and language arts, and grade 6 performance task. Now, the grade 6 performance task is coming up next week. I want you to use the opportunity, even if we're doing the grade 4 or the grade 5, those who are in grade 6, use the opportunity to sharpen your skills, because there may be things you may have overlooked. And especially if you didn't get a strong foundation in grade 4 and grade 5, use this opportunity. Work through the grade 4 and 5 past papers. Don't be cocky and say, oh, that's grade 5, that's grade 4. I don't need to do that. It can still sharpen your skills as a grade 6 paper. So we'll be having more performance tasks, past papers tomorrow, which is Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday evening. And of course, the performance tasks begin on Wednesday. Wednesday evening again, we'll be doing some more in preparation for Thursday. So we're not leaving any stone unturned. We want to make sure that our peppers are ready. I have 2 scholars waiting behind the scenes, and they're about to join me. And of course, we'll have other scholars coming in as usual. So I'm going to welcome Abigail and Nordica. Abrielle,
Good
forgive me.
night, Miss.
Good night. And Nordica. Okay. Abrielle, are you there?
Yes, Miss.
All right. And Nordica is here. So let's go right into the paper. This is a language arts performance task at grade 5. All right, so this paper, of course, was prepared by the Ministry of Education and Youth. It's an actual past paper, the June 2022 past paper. So those who did the grade 6, grade 5 PEP 2 years ago, this is the paper that they did for language arts. All right. General instructions. This task has 2 parts. Part 1 has 4 questions, and part 2 has an essay. Instructions to begin. There are 2 sources. Read the sources carefully, then use them to answer the questions in part 1, as well as write your essay in part 2. So remember, whenever you go into an examination, you are to first read the instructions and listen to the instructions that are given in terms of your conduct in the examination room. You have to obey the rules. No talking, no sharing of stationery. It's just you and all the knowledge and the skills that you have gained in your head, and your ability to manipulate your instruments and to remember what you have learned and what you have practiced. One of the important things you need to do in an exam is to read. So these are general instructions. Read everything. Don't take anything for granted. So it's telling us that the task that we're about to do has 2 parts. Part 1 has 4 questions, and part 2 has an essay. composition. Instructions to begin. There are two sources which we are to read carefully and then use them to answer the questions in part 1, as well as to write your essay in part 2. All right, Abriel, please read the further instructions.
Yes, miss. Miss, the part where it says source one is an
Hmm?
Miss, the part where it says source one is
Advertisement. Yeah.
yes, miss. Source one is an advertisement, while source two contains information from customers who bought Fairy Hill cashews and are giving their views on the product. These customers have also given a rating for the product from 1 star to 5 stars, with 5 stars being the highest. Source 1 is an advertisement, while Source 2 contains information from customers who bought Fairy Hill cashews and are giving their views on the product. These customers have also given a rating for the product from 1 star to 5 stars, with 5 stars being the highest.
Thank you, Abriel. All right, Nardika. Oh, this is um okay, go ahead, Nardika. Source 1.
Introduction to task. Source 1. The, the advertisement below was found on the internet. It is form on an online from an online retailer based based in Jamaica, where customers can purchase products and have them delivered to their homes. Customers may also give feedback about the products they have purchased. Source 1. The advertisement below was found on the internet. It is formed
It is
it is
from
from an online reta- retailer
retailer. Mm-hmm.
retailer based in Jamaica, where customers can purchase products and have them delivered to their home. Customers may also give feedback about the products they have purchased.
All right. Who is a retailer? It says it is from an online retailer. You want to quickly look for the definition of retailer for me, someone?
Miss, is it someone who sells stuff?
But not just anybody who sells stuff. It depends on how much of the items. So we have wholesalers and retailers. So the wholesalers sell goods in bulk, a whole lot. If you're buying a whole lot,
Miss, I
dozens
found it.
and dozens. Yes, go ahead and read for me, please, Abriel.
A person or business that sells goods to the public in relatively small quantities for use or consumption rather than for resale.
Okay. All right. Read it again, please, Abriel.
A person or business that sells goods to the public in relatively small quantities for use or consumption rather than for resale.
Okay, so in relatively small quantities. So when you buy from the retailer, you're buying for your personal use. Usually when you buy for the from the wholesaler, you're buying to go and sell back. So you buy from the wholesaler and then you retail it, usually, right? Of course, you have some persons who buy wholesale because they're stocking up. They like to have goods stocked up at home to make sure that they have enough for the long run, right? But most people buy retail, they just buy enough that they're going to use for a short period of time. So a relatively small amount. All right. And this word, feedback, what does it mean to give feedback?
Miss, Miss to give back a answer, Miss, or Miss how something was.
What do you mean how something was?
So,
Miss,
Miss,
like, for
Hold on a
example,
minute,
you were,
Artie. Go ahead,
Miss,
Abram.
for example, you were, Miss, you got something to eat, Miss. Miss, and they ask what is your feedback on how it tastes, Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Miss, so you tell them how it tastes.
Okay. All right. So you give them
Miss,
based on your experience of having the meal, you tell them how it tastes. So Nardika, what were you saying?
Miss, I was saying that, for instance, buy like you buy a dress on a specific website, Miss, and then you like how the material is and how it fits on you, so you want to give a feedback on how the product is and how the do you like it.
So you do what?
So, Miss, for instance, like it will give you like put 5 stars or how much stars it is. I like you put 5 stars. I said, oh, this product is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer more
Okay.
like this.
Okay. Genesis and Jair, welcome.
Hi, Miss.
Hi, Miss.
Miss,
Hi, Miss
I have
Moon.
something
All
as
right.
well.
Go
Our
ahead.
feedback is like a review, Miss.
Right. A review. So you're giving your opinion, how you feel about something, right? So they're asking us for our feedback. Well, sorry. They're saying that the customers, some customers who sampled this product are going to give their feedback in source 2. So let's go to, so this is source 1. Jair, can you see the label?
Yes, Miss.
Please read the label for me twice.
Miss, should I read the container as well?
Hold on, I have a better picture of it. Hold on. You can read it from here.
Slightly salted cashews. Cashews roasted in peanut oil. Seasoned with sea salt, makes a great snack for children and adults. With a
Resealable.
resealable,
Resealable.
resealable lid for long-lasting freshness.
Again, please.
Slightly salted cashews.
Lightly, lightly.
Lightly salted cashews. Cashews roasted in peanut oil, seasoned with sea salt, makes a great snack for children and adults, with a resealable lid for long-lasting freshness.
What is a resealable lid?
Miss, like it can come off and go back on.
So even after you open it, you're able to seal it back to lock in the freshness. And you notice down here, what's happening down here?
Miss, it's
Miss,
showing
price
how much
and
it goes
change.
for.
So this is a special deal. This is a sale going on, right? It was 1,520 and it is now 912. So you're saving 40%. You're getting a 40% discount if you buy it now. So they're promoting their product. And
Excuse me, Miss.
yes, go ahead, Nardika.
So how do you get the 40%? Like if they ask a specific question and said fine, how much percent you got off of this price? How do you find it?
Well, they are telling you that it is 40%, but if you wanted to work it out, say it was 1,520 and the new price is 912. I hope I'm seeing the figures properly. So you're saving 608. Am I reading it properly?
Yes,
$608. So
Miss.
if you wanted
Yes,
to work
Miss.
that out as a percent, so you'd put the 608 over the original 1,520 times 100, and that would give you the percentage discount. Right? Um, so let's look now at source two. Abriel, back to you.
Yes, miss. Source 2 Customer Review on Ferry Hill Cashews. Margaret, 5 star, 5 out of 5 stars reviewed on May 30, 2022. They arrived quickly. They also stay fresh longer if you seal the container properly. Plus, they are rich in fiber and heart healthy fats. For the price I paid for them, it was a huge saving. Fairy Hill brand of cashews is my favorite.
All right, you know we always read it twice for good measure.
Okay, miss. Source 2 Customer Review on Fairy Hill Cashews. Margaret, 5 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on May 30, 2022. They arrived quickly. They also stay fresh longer if you seal the container properly. Plus, they are rich in fiber and healthy fats. For the price I paid for them, it was a huge saving. Fairy Hill brand of cashews is my favorite.
Thank you, Abriel. Nordika, read Anne and Tracian's reviews, please.
Okay.
Miss, this Anna.
Oh, sorry, Anna.
Anna, 4 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on March 24th, 2022. The cashews had a very nice taste, lightly roasted and lightly salted. They are not the best quality, but they make a great snack. Tracian, 1 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on December 3rd, 2021. What has happened to Fairy Hill cashews? I am a vegetarian. I eat cashews as a source of protein. The cashews I got were not expired, but they taste awful. Not eating them. Yuck! I want my money back. 4 out of Anna. 4 out of 5. Reviewed on March 24, 2022. The cashews had a very nice taste, lightly roasted and lightly salted. They are not the best quality, but they make a great snack. Tracian, 1 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on December 3rd, 2021. What happened to Fairy Hill cashews? I am a vegetarian. I eat cashews as a source of protein. The cashews I got were not expired, but they taste awful. Not eating them. Yuck! I want my money back.
What does this person mean that the cashews were not expired?
Miss, they were good, miss. Miss, they were. Miss, you can't. They're still edible. Miss, on the Miss, the day that you can't eat them, miss,
Okay,
isn't
so
hasn't
so
reached yet.
products come with an expiry date, right? After that date, you're not supposed to consume them because they may be They may have
Miss,
spoiled.
Chinese people eat them, Miss.
Hmm?
Miss, Chinese people still eat them after they're expired.
Why? What makes you say that?
Miss, you can Google it.
That Chinese as a group eat expired food? I don't know about that. All right. Genesis. Paul. What does Paul?
Yes, Miss. Paul, 2 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on September 10, 2001.
21.
Normally,
2020.
2021. Normally, I purchase a mixed nut con- container, and they are usually good. This time, I bought the same container with
Smaller.
smaller container with
Smaller, yeah.
cashews only. Usually, have to keep myself from eating too much. Not this time.
Too many.
Too many. Not this time.
Okay, one more
Paul,
time.
2 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on September 10, 2021. Normally, I purchase a mixed nut container, and they are usually good. This time, I bought the smaller container with cashews only. Usually, I usually have to stop myself from eating too much.
Too many.
Not too many, not this time.
Okay, thank you, Genesis.
Welcome,
Jair,
Miss
Rebecca.
Rebecca, 5 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on February 6, 2021. I snack on them instead of ice cream, so they will help me lose weight. I usually end up hiding and can as they mysteriously disappear.
They mysteriously
Whenever
disappear whenever.
whenever my husband knows we have them, great brand, great cashews. Yum. Rebecca, 5 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on February 6, 2021. I snack on them instead of ice cream, so they will help me lose weight. I usually end up hiding and I can as they mysteriously disappear whenever my husband knows we have them. Great brand, great cashews, yum.
Okay, so they're getting some good reviews. Abriel, Andre,
Yes, Miss. Andre, 4 out of 5 stars. Reviewed on November 4, 2020. They are yummy. I really enjoyed them. Will definitely purchase again. Andre, 4 out of 5 stars.
good
On
night.
November 4, 2020. They are yummy. I really enjoy them. Will definitely purchase again.
Thank you, Abriel. So, for part one, remember they said we have 4 questions in part one. Question one: what is the brand of the product being advertised? What is the brand of the product being advertised?
Miss Fairy
Miss
Hill.
Miss Fairy Hills.
Hmm? Fairy
Miss
Hill.
Fairy Hill, Miss.
Right. That's
Fairy Hill, Miss.
all right. So the brand is, let's go down to the question. Fairy Hill. And a lot of companies, the brand is so popular. Anywhere you see the logo, anywhere you see that brand, you immediately know and associate it with quality. Like there's a particular brand in Jamaica, that a particular food brand, I only buy that brand. Certain products, certain, if I'm buying anything canned or anything, that I tend to buy that brand only.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes, Nardika.
Is it like Grace?
I don't want to say which brand, but I am very brand loyal. Whenever I find a brand that really has great quality, I tend to stick to that brand and I refuse to buy any other brand. I'm like that. Some people are like that. I'm very loyal to the brand. All right. So Amari, newcomer, can you read question 2, please?
Okay, Miss. Number 2. Which evidence from source 1 suggests that Fairy Hill cashews will not get stale easily? Number 2. Which evidence from source 1 suggests that Fairy Hill cashews will not get stale easily?
All right. So source brand is the label.
Miss
So
it says Miss it says under lightly salted. Miss it says that it has a resealable lid for long lasting freshness, Miss.
all right. Everybody agrees?
Yes,
Remember,
Miss.
remember we said resealable
Yes,
means
Miss.
after you open it, you can lock it back. What is it about that process that makes the food last longer? The fact that you can seal it back. Do you have any idea?
Miss when you Miss
Keeps
when
it
you
fresh.
seal it, Miss you keep like the freshness in the tub.
How? How does it keep the freshness in the tub? Anybody? Any ideas? Why is it when you have food in a container and you seal it, it lasts longer? It doesn't go stale as quickly as if you open.
Miss
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 Miss, is it
because
because of
Abriel,
preservative?
Miss when it's open.
hold on. Abriel, were you
Miss
speaking first? Yeah, go ahead,
Miss
please.
Miss as saying that when something is open, Miss, it gets stale easily. Miss, but when it's closed, Miss, it's not stale unless
I
it's
know,
expired.
but I'm asking why. Nardika?
Miss
Miss, I was saying that because you preserve preservatives. Yeah, preservatives.
The preservatives are already in the product, so it shouldn't matter. If it's just a preservative, then it shouldn't matter whether you open it or not. Amari, what were you saying?
Miss I was saying when it's open out like that, it's like the substances in the environment miss they make it stale faster than when it would be closed up and away from the environment around it, miss.
Right. So when it's coming from the factory and it has just been produced and sealed, it is pretty much it is pretty much what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? It's free of microorganisms. The word is at the tip of my tongue. Can't find it right now, but it's sterile, right? That's the word I want. It's sterile. it is clean, well, hopefully, it should be, and free of microbes. Not completely free, because microbes are just everywhere, right? But it has just gone through the process, very clean containers and everything, and sealed. Once you open it, you're exposing it to the environment, as Amari said, and microbes are always floating about. Bacteria, fungi, spores, other germs like viruses and so on. They're always floating about. Even one-celled organisms, um, that are not necessarily bacteria or fungi, right? But they are still one cell organism. They're floating about. And once they contaminate the product, if it's left open for a period of time, then the product will start to deteriorate. It will start to rot. It will get stale, and then you'll see mold growing on it and so on. And also, exposure to the air is exposure to oxygen, and many chemicals in the food become oxidized. They react with the oxygen in the air, and that is part of the breaking down process of certain foods, right? So when you seal it, if you have a lid that is resealable, the substance will last longer.
Miss, the oxygen will normally dry out the moisture out of the food.
Right. It will also dry out. But if you open it and it's in a moist environment, because that could happen too. The environment may be humid, and that could make mold and so on grow on it, right? All right, so I lost track. Who
Excuse me,
just?
miss.
Yes, go ahead,
Excuse me.
Abel.
Miss, can you go back to source one, miss, where it says it has resealable lids, miss?
The resealable lid. Mm-hmm. There it
Okay,
is.
miss.
All right, so did we answer that question though? We answered it. So we were to write the answer to this question. What's evidence from source one? So we would put the resealable lid. And you could go into just write a sentence or two, quote from the passage, that sentence, and then you can give a one sentence explanation. I won't go into that with this because this is the tedious to write with. But if you're quoting from the passage, you need to put it in quotation marks like this. If you're paraphrasing, then you need to say it in your own words, but keep the gist of the information, keep the facts. All right. Genesis, question 3.
Miss Genesis got kicked out.
Jair. Jair, question 3, please.
Coming, Miss.
Miss Genesis is right there.
I just put it.
Based on the reviews given by customers in source 2, would you say the customers were generally satisfied with the product they bought? Yes, no. Give reason for your answer. Based on the reviews given by the customers in source 2, would you say the customers were generally satisfied with the product they bought? Yes, no. Give reason for your answer.
All right. Well, we do know that some were very satisfied, some were not so satisfied. Let's do a check. So Margaret gave 5 stars. So that's one very satisfied customer. Anne gave 4 stars. Tracy gave 1. Um, Paul gave 2. Rebecca gave 5. And Andre gave 4, right? So we have 5, 4, 1, 2, 5, 4. So mostly they were satisfied, wouldn't you say? Most of
Yes,
them,
miss.
Yes,
most of them
Yes,
were.
miss.
So for this one, we're going to check. Yes, they were. Mostly, they were generally satisfied. 2 persons gave bad reviews, right? 2 persons, one of them even wanted their money back. But 4 out of the 6
Miss, who
gave
was
very
the
good
second
reviews.
person?
Pardon me?
Miss, who was the second person?
The second person, let's go back. So we had Margaret, then Anna, then Tracy Ann, and
Miss Tracy said she wanted her money back, miss.
yeah, Tracy Ann wanted her money back. Um, was it? Yeah, Tracy Ann. She gave just 1 star. So generally speaking, they were satisfied. I mean, you're not gonna please everybody, right? No matter what you're selling, you're always gonna have some people like it, some don't like it. So in your answer, so remember you have to give a reason. So we would say 4 out of 6 reviewers gave very good reviews, between 4 and 5 stars out of 5. Only 2 customers gave negative reviews. So you could state something like that and show this. You can actually name the customers and how many stars if you want. Nardika, question 4.
Write two pieces of evidence, one from source one and one from source two, that support the idea that Fair Hill cashews is a healthy snack. Write two pieces of evidence, one, one from source one and one from source two, that support the idea that Berry Hill cashews is a healthy snack.
So we're to give one piece of evidence from source 1. This is source 1, the actual label of the cashew. So we need, what can we take from source 1 that will prove that this is a healthy snack? Is there any other
Miss,
information? Oh,
Miss, it
this is
says,
also part of source 1 up here.
Miss, I found some, Miss.
What did you find?
Miss is the one that you were at before, Miss.
That one?
Yes, Miss. Miss, it says makes a great snack for children and adults.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have to go with that. It doesn't say healthy, but I don't see anything else
Miss it does say healthy.
where
Miss on the can. Miss if you miss go up on the other slide,
on
miss.
the can.
Miss it says part
Oh,
of a heart healthy diet, miss.
so I think this is the better one, Gabriel, to use. You see this?
Yes, Miss.
Part of a heart healthy diet. Because this definitely now is talking about health. So this is what I would use from source 1, part of a heart healthy diet. And source 2 now, does Margaret say anything about, well, yeah. See, Margaret says They are rich in fiber and heart healthy fats. So we can take that from Margaret. All right. Anybody else is saying anything about health?
Miss, I know.
Wait, go back to the question.
Miss, I think I know, Miss.
Hold on. Somebody wanted me to go back to the question. What's the question?
Miss, because it says one piece of evidence. Miss, it says two pieces of evidence from one from source one and one from source two, Miss.
That's what we're doing. So we got the one from source one on the label. So now we're looking to source two. Source two is the reviews that the persons are giving, their feedback. So we found something from Margaret that we can use.
Miss, 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 I think Miss, could you go back on the slide that you were on before? Miss,
Margaret, this one.
yes, no, Miss Anna. Miss, it says the cashews had a very nice taste and they were lightly roasted and lightly salted. Miss, I think the lightly salted part, Miss, is a good thing because if it had a lot of salt, you could increase the chance of getting high blood pressure, Miss.
Okay. But you'd have to explain that in your reason, okay? And anything from Paul about health?
No, Miss.
No, Paul just saying that him glad say them have a little late because him used to eat everything one time. How about Rebecca? Again, she's saying once she pop it, she can't stop.
Miss, Miss, it helps her to lose weight, Miss.
Oh yes, Rebecca is the one that says they help me to lose weight. So this piece of evidence could use. And Andre just think they taste yummy. Right? All right, but we have enough. We have enough that we could use from source two. So where are we now? So that's what, so you'd write that first under source two. Make sure you write the
Miss,
information under the right heading.
Miss, I like how I'm getting this paper tomorrow, Miss. I already started writing the questions, Miss. Miss, can I write the question for source for number 4, Miss?
For
Miss, for number 4.
okay. All right, so we're at part two. Genesis, you're back, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, Genesis, read instructions for part two, please.
Part 2. Instructions. Task. That's an essay in which you explain three reasons why buying Fairy Hill Cashew may be a good idea. Your essay must include evidence from both sources as well as your own
Experience.
experience.
Experiences. All right, read again,
Experience.
please, Genesis.
Part 2. Instructions. Task. Write an essay in which you will explain three reasons why buying Fairy Hills Cashew may be a good idea. Your essay must include evidence from both sources as well as your own experiences.
Thank you, Genesis. So we want three reasons. Three. and must include. You notice they highlight these words. They don't want you to miss these words. They are important. So underline these words in your answer booklet. When you get your question paper, sorry, underline these words. 3 different reasons. Don't give the same reason and just say it in another way. 3 clear, distinct, different reasons. Each one should be able to stand by itself as a different reason. So, 3 reasons why buying Fairy Hill cashews may be a good idea. That's what the essay is going to be. Nardika, please read this, which reminds us read the information, please.
Read the information below about what to include in your essay. Then begin your work. When you write your essay, remember that it should have an introduction and conclusion, stay on topic, use details from both sources to support your opinion, give details from the sources in your own words, follow rules, write spelling, punctuation, and grammar usage with the information below about what to include in your essay, then begin your work. When you write your essay, remember that it should have an introduction and conclusion, stay on topic, use detail from both sources, sources to support your opinion, give details from the sources in your own words, follow rules of writing, spelling, punctuation, and grammar usage.
All right, now this is very important when you're writing your essay, right? We'll keep getting bumped off. When you're writing your essay, your grammar, your punctuation, spelling, these are important for you to note. And when you write your essay and you're finished, you're to check over for these. Make sure your grammar is correct, your subject verb agreement, you're using the correct tenses, and also that your punctuation, putting the full stop where it's supposed to be, the quotation marks where they're supposed to be, your commas where they're supposed to be. After a complete sentence, you put a full stop, not a comma, unless you're going to replace that full stop with a conjunction to join the sentences or a semicolon or something. But once you have expressed a complete thought, you put a full stop for a regular statement. Start your sentences with capital letters. When you're writing I, referring to yourself, always capital I when referring to yourself. Things like that you have to take note of and remember all the rules that you've been learning from grade 1 straight up. In terms of the structure of your essay, as mentioned, you start with your introduction. You introduce the topic that you're going to be talking about. If it's something where you need to give your position, state your position on the topic, you do so. And you say, I will be discussing, and if you're asked for 3 points, I will be discussing 3 points that prove that Fairy Hill Cashew is a good buy. And you can briefly state what those 3 points are. The introduction is not long, maybe 3 or 4 sentences. So you state your position and you briefly let the reader know what you will be talking about. What are the 3 points you will be making? Then now in the body of your essay, each point is developed in its own paragraph. So each point, which should be 3 clear, distinct points, don't make the same point over and over again in different words. So we're going to identify 3 good points now about Fairy Hill Cashew. And each of those you will develop in your own, in its own paragraph. Okay? So what are the 3 points? 3 points that we can give for Fairy Hill Cashew, why they are good for persons to buy. So let's go back from the top, from way up here.
Miss, they are heart healthy.
They are heart healthy. Okay, so they are very good for the health of your heart.
Miss it.
And you could
Miss it.
elaborate on that to say why is it
Excuse
important.
me, Miss.
Hold a minute. Each point that you make, you're going to elaborate and say why it is important. Why is this important for us? Yes, go ahead. Who wanted to speak? Nardika?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, go ahead.
Miss it also require weight loss, and most people love it.
Okay, so it helps with weight loss, which a lot of persons are struggling with today. A lot of persons are struggling with losing
Miss,
weight. Mm?
Miss is slightly salted, which lessens the risk of catching high blood pressure, miss.
Of developing, not catching. You don't catch, it's not infectious, but you develop high blood pressure. So being lightly salted reduces your risk of developing hypertension or high blood pressure. 3 good points. All right. Anything else?
Make it has a lid so it doesn't get stale easily.
Yes, it has a resealable lid. That's another different point to keep in the freshness. So you, it's also that's convenient, right? You can carry it with you, seal it up back. It's somebody mentioned that the container is now of a size where it's very convenient. It does not allow you to overeat, to overindulge, because it's so tasty. If it came in a huge container, you just keep eating, eating, eating. But the container is very convenient. All right. Who was saying something else?
Miss, it's rich in fiber, miss.
It's rich in fiber, and fiber is good for what?
Miss, Miss, I was also saying that when you buy it, could save a lot of money, Miss.
Oh, yes. If there's a sale now on, so you could save 40%. But I was asking about the fiber, as Amari mentioned. Why is fiber important in our diet?
Miss, so you can pass your bowels.
Exactly. It helps you to clean out your bowels after each meal so that it will keep your digestive tract running smoothly and not develop constipation, right? Which makes us ill. All right, so we have all of that, the health benefits, the convenience, the price, the taste, any one of those that you want to develop. Those are all distinct points, very good points to develop. Now, Amari, I'd like you to read again these important points that the examiners wanted us to keep in mind.
Okay, miss. Read the information below about what to include in your essay, then begin your work. When you write your essay, remember that it should have an introduction and conclusion, stay on topic, use details from both sources to support your opinion, give details from the source in your own words, follow rules of spelling, punctuation, and grammar usage. Read the information below about what to include about what to include in your essay. Then begin your work. When you write your essay, remember that it should have an introduction and conclusion, stay on topic, use details from both sources to help your opinion, give details from the source in your own words, follow rules of writing, spelling, punctuation, and grammar usage. Miss
Thank you,
Amson.
Amari. Thank you. All right, so read the structure of your essay, your introduction, the body of your essay, where you have paragraphs that develop each point, and then your conclusion, where you wrap things up. You may restate your position, you may restate the points briefly, just to mention, and you wrap things up. The conclusion is not long. 2 or 3 sentences is fine for a conclusion. It says we're to stay on the topic. Don't drift off and go on to talk about all kind of stuff. Look very carefully what the question is asking you to answer and stick to that. Focus on that. You're not going to impress anyone by giving information that is not needed. Look what is being asked for and give the examiner what they want. You're not getting any extra marks for writing things that are irrelevant. The things that are relevant, you should develop them and give adequate information. Use details from the sources, and remember, any number of sources that you're given, go back to the source and quote from the source. If you are using information directly from the source, put it in quotation marks and say which source. If you are paraphrasing, you still need to say which source, but when you're paraphrasing, you're stating the points in your own words. So you're saying the same thing, but in your own words. You're explaining it the way you understand it, keeping the facts intact. And like I mentioned, don't take it for granted that, oh, he knows what I want to spell, or he or she knows what I'm trying to say. No. Make sure you go back and check for spelling errors, punctuation errors, and grammar errors. So spelling has to do with making sure the letters in the word are what they're supposed to be, making sure you're not using homonyms, that you have words that sound the same and spell different, or spell the same, sound the same, and they mean different things. You have to make sure that the one that you want is the one that you spell properly. Punctuation has to do with using your commas properly, your full stops, your questions. If you're asking a question, it should end with a question mark. All right. Exclamation signs where they're appropriate. Quotation signs for direct speech, or if you're quoting someone's exact words. That kind of thing. We need to ensure that we stick to those rules. And of course, on your answer booklet, you're given space, you're given enough space to write your essay. Use the space wisely. Remember to indent for your paragraph. You should have at least 5 or 6 good paragraphs in your essay, depending on how many points they want you to develop. All right, so this is the end of this session. We're going to come immediately back for a science paper, science performance task. Remember, each night we're doing 2 papers, 2 sessions. So I'm going to wrap this up and we come back right away. Stay tuned.
Bye, Miss.